lecture, we are going to study further about different various folk forms of our country, and we'll study about the folk form from central India. So from theatrical expression, we will move to Jharkhand now, where dance reflects seasonal celebration, tribal vitality and energetic community participation. So dance traditions here are deeply rooted in tribal life, seasonal cycles and collective celebration that includes Jhumer, Domkoch, Paika, which we studied, that belongs to West Bengal as well as in this region as well, Chhau, Mundari and many other forms. So first we will study about Foga. This represents joy, renewal and the arrival of spring, which is closely associated with the Holi festival. And traditionally you will see the male dominated performance, and now in recent times there are women also participating in this dance form. And there is a community participation across all the social groups. If you look at the performance structure of this form, which is energetic group dance with circular or linear formations that includes acrobatic movement, the jumps and mock combat. The dancer throw colors and water, enhancing festivity and accompanied by loud singing and rhythmic drumming. It also combines celebration with martial elements, indicating historical roots. If we look at the costume, it includes bright and colorful costumes. The men wear dhoti, kurta and turbans. Women wear saris or lehenga with ornaments. They also carry props that include sticks, sword and shields. And if you look at the music instruments, that include dhol, nagada, shehnai, flute and dhak. This promotes unity, joy and community bonding while preserving traditions. Now we move to Odisha, where we observe a powerful transformation of martial traditions into rhythmic performance forms. It includes some of the major folk forms that are Chhau, Gotipua, Dandanata, Dalkhai, Ghumura, and there are many other folk forms from this region. Let's study about Ghumura. It is native to Kalahandi region of Odisha and derived from the word Ghum, that means earthen pot, Un means creation and Ra means sound, which refers to the sound produced by the instrument. The transformation of war dance to ritual and cultural performance. Here you will see the group of 15 to 40 male dancers dancing together and traditionally performed by Gond, Kond and Bhatra tribes. And it is usually performed in Nokhai, Dashera or Ghama Purnima. And it is also performed at social and cultural events. If we look at the performance structures, the dancer plays the Ghumura drum while dancing. It requires coordination of rhythm, movement and singing, and often performed in formations or in a competitive groups. If you look at the costume of this dance form, it includes simple yet rhythmic and functional. It has a functional movement and they wear a tribal costume. If you look at the musical instrument of this form, it includes Ghumura, the main instrument made out of earthen pot, and Nisan, Jhanja, that is cymbals, and Mahuri and Mardal. This form of martial dance demands the simultaneous display of music, dance, singing, song and acting, making it a challenging task to execute. We also have a historical and mythological context in this dance form. that mentioned in it was mentioned in texts like Sarla Mahabharat and associated with war traditions of gods and kings, and it is believed to have been used in ancient battles. It is evolved from a war instrument and martial traditions into a folk dance and cultural performance form. If you look at the cultural significance, it symbolizes bravery, energy, and collective identity while also conveying modern and social messages. Now we move forward to Central India to Madhya Pradesh. This region reflects a slightly different cultural dynamic where agrarian life, seasonal cycles, and community celebration form the core of folk expression. Here, dance is closely tied to harvest and the emotional life of rural communities, often expressing gratitude, joy, and collective identity. These dance forms are deeply rooted in peasant life, agricultural practices, and seasonal rhythms, reflecting everyday experiences of rural communities. If you look at the dance forms of Madhya Pradesh, it includes um, Jawara, Matki, Ada, Khadanach, Phoolpatti, Grida, Silarkari, and there are many other dance forms from this region. We will study about Jawara dance. Jawara dance originates from the Bundelkhand region of Madhya Pradesh and is traditionally performed by peasant communities. This regional association highlights how folk dances emerge from specific ecological and occupational contexts, particularly agrarian societies dependent on seasonal cycles. If you look at the term Jawara, it refers to grain, directly linking the dance to agricultural and fertility. This naming itself reflects the centrality of crops and food production in shaping cultural expression. The primary theme is celebration of a successful harvest. It embodies joy and satisfaction of farmers, and they have a gratitude towards nature and agricultural abundance, the collective celebration of prosperity. At a deeper level, the dance symbolizes the intimate relationship between humans and nature, where agricultural success becomes a cause for ritualized expression. It is usually performed at the end of the harvest season. This timing is significant as it marks the completion of the community's cycle and the hard work which you have put in, and the beginning of celebration transforming physical effort into cultural expression. In this, you will see both men and women participate together, and it requires trained and experienced performers. The inclusivity reflects community participation while the skill requirement indicates its structured and disciplined nature. The performance structure of this dance form is Jawara is a highly skilled and physically demanding dance form characterized by balance, coordination, and rhythm precision. And if you look at the main features, it includes the female dancer carries very heavy basket of jawara on their heads, and the movement involves controlled swaying while maintaining body rigidity. And the dancer often perform balancing acts such as carrying lit lamps on their head and hands, and they also stand on each other while maintaining the equilibrium of their body. The group formation includes holding each other from their waist and moving forward and backward rhythmically. And they also sway like peacocks, symbolizing joy. In this, the peacock imagery is particularly significant. Just as peacock dance during rain, farmers celebrate when crops flourish. Thus, the performance becomes a metaphorical representation of nature's cycle and human emotion. And this dance form requires years of practice, and it is being passed down through generation to generation. This reflects the oral and experiential mode of transmission, ensuring continuity of tradition. And the costumes are designed to support both aesthetic appeal and the functional movement, where you will see women wearing knee-length dhoti and the traditional jewelry, very lightweight clothing which allows them to move freely, and men will wear colorful tunics and the Nehru jacket. Here, the common feature is the headgear decorated with peacock feather, reinforcing symbolic imagery, and the attire reflects both regional identity and symbolic meaning, especially the connection with nature. If you look at the musical instrument, the main instrument is cymbal or bells. Jawara dance represents agrarian prosperity, collective celebration, human nature relationship, and the skill-based community performance. So it transforms labor into art and harvest into celebration, making it a vital part of rural cultural life. So after studying the agrarian and seasonal expression of Madhya Pradesh, we will now move to Chhattisgarh, a region where folk traditions are deeply rooted in spiritual movement, community identity, and devotional philosophy. Unlike purely agrarian celebration, many dance forms here, such as Panthi, Rothnot, and Pandwani, reflects religious teachings, saint traditions, and social reform movement, making performance a medium of both devotion and ideological expression. If you look at the dance form which belongs to this region are Gaur Marya, Panthi, Rothnot, Vedamati, Kapalik, Bhartari, Charit, and there are many other folk forms of this region. These forms reflect a synthesis of tribal vitality, devotional movement, and oral storytelling tradition, where dance becomes a vehicle for spiritual communication and social identity. Let us study first about Panthi dance. So, Panthi is a significant ritual dance of the Satnami community of Chhattisgarh. It is closely associated with teachings of Guru Baba Ghasidas, the founder of Satnam Panth. The Durg region holds particular importance, serving as a cultural and spiritual center for this tradition. This origin highlights how folk dances can emerge from religious reform movements, functioning as expressions of beliefs and collective identity. If you look at the theme, the central theme of Panthi dance is devotion to Guru Baba Ghasidas and the teachings of saint traditions. It reflects philosophy of nirvana, the teachings of saints like Kabir, Ravidas, and Dadu, and it emphasizes on equality, simplicity, and spiritual discipline. Thus, Panthi is not merely a dance form but a philosophical expression of a spiritual worldview. It is usually performed on Maghi Purnima, marking the birth anniversary of Guru Baba Ghasidas. This makes the dance a ritual observance where performance becomes an act of remembrance and devotion. It is being primarily performed by male dancers, often associated with organized groups or Panthi Nritya Mandalis. And the structured group performance reflects discipline and collective participation of a community together. If you look at the performance structure, Panthi dance is known for its energetic, expressive and physically demanding movements combining devotion with dynamic choreography. Here, dancer performs around the Jet Khumb, which is a sacred pillar that symbolizing spiritual access. And the songs are sung in praise of Guru and saint traditions. Performance begins with slow, controlled movement. Gradually, it increased in tempo, and the dancer execute complex footwork and acrobatic movement in this folk form. The formation of human pyramids or towers you will see in this folk form. They also they also have a curved body movement and swinging arms that create visual dynamism, and they also whistle signals indicate the change in step, and there is a sudden tempo shift that create dynamic effect. This progression from slow devotion to energetic climax symbolizes a journey from meditation to spiritual ecstasy. Panthi incorporates symbolic gestures such as Jai's thumb, which is the spiritual access, the Dharti Pranam, which is the respect to Mother Earth, and Phool Arpan, that is offering of devotion. These gestures reinforce the ritualistic and symbolic nature of the dance, and the songs which we play in this, which we'll see that play a central role and conveys the spiritual teachings of Guru and saints and importance of human life and the messages of devotion and detachment. They act as oral carriers of the saint's philosophy, ensuring transmission of ideas across generations. If we look at the costume, it includes short dhoti, simple vest, turban and white tilak. And if you look at, if you can also see another image on your screen. And the musical instruments which are used in this form includes mridang, jhanj, dholak or tabla, and they also uses another percussion instrument as well. And additionally, you will also see a casio and banjo in this form. Moving to the cultural and philosophical significance of this dance form, the devotional expression of Satnami community, and there is an integration of philosophy, music and movement together, and it's a medium of spreading teachings of equality and spirituality. It transforms dance into a vehicle of social reform and spiritual awakening. So, having studied the folk traditions of Eastern and Central India, where dance functions as a medium of ritual protection, agrarian celebration, social commentary and spiritual devotion, we will now turn towards Western India to Gujarat. In this region, dance tradition reflects a refined synthesis of mythology, bhakti, aesthetic experience and collective participation. Unlike purely ritualistic forms, many dances here are deeply influenced by Vaishnav philosophy, especially the worship of Krishna as the divine performer. Thus, performance in Gujarat often moves beyond ritual into a celebration of divine love, rhythm and cosmic harmony. Gujarat presents a vibrant spectrum of folk dances which includes Garba, Dandiya, Bhavai, Tippani, Dangi, Ras, Hallisaka and many other forms of this region, each reflecting strong circular movement patterns, emphasis on group participation and integration of music, rhythm and devotion. These characteristics indicate a shared aesthetic principle rooted in concept of rasa and mandala, which symbolically represent cosmic order and unity. Let us study about Hallisaka. Hallisaka is one of the earliest recorded group dance traditions associated with Gujarat, prominently described in the Harivamsh Puran. This text, forming the Kilbhanga of the Mahabharata, is crucial in tracing the evolution of Krishna-centric performance tradition. The Harivamsha provide detailed description of Krishna's life, pastoral settings and interactions with the gopis, thereby offering one of the earliest frameworks of ras-based dance traditions. Hallisaka therefore stands at intersection of classical Sanskrit tradition, the mythological narrative and folk performance evolution. The Harivamsha refers to dance forms such as Tal Rasaka, rhythmic clapping based group dance, and Danda Rasaka, which is stick based rhythmic dance. These forms collectively fall under Hallisaka, indicating that it functioned as a protoform of Ras dance tradition. At a deeper level, Hallisaka embodies the aesthetic concept of rasa, where performance becomes a medium for experiencing Shringara, Bhakti and Ananda. Thus, Hallisaka is not merely a dance but an aesthetic spiritual experience rooted in Indian dramaturgy. The central theme revolves around the divine Leelas of Lord Krishna and his interaction with the gopis, representing devoted souls. If we look at the philosophical side of this dance, it signifies the union of Jivatma with Paramatma, the transformation of human emotion into divine devotion. This aligns closely with later Bhakti traditions where devotion is expressed through music, dance and emotional surrender. Hallisaka is traditionally performed on Sharad Purnima, a full moon night considered highly auspicious in Krishna worship. And the significance of this occasion includes association with Ras Leela, symbolism of cosmic completeness and harmony, ideal setting of nocturnal devotional performance, and the full moon enhances the visual, emotional and symbolic atmosphere, reinforcing the connection between nature and performance. If you look at the performance structure of this dance form, the performance of Hallisaka reflects a highly organized group choreography with symbolic spatial designs. The formation of a circular mandala representing cosmic order. Dancers join hands, emphasizing unity and collective rhythms. Rhythmic clapping patterns create percussive structures, and the central male figure represents Krishna, which is surrounded by female dancers, the gopis. And there is a controlled footwork using toes, heels, and leg articulations. Gradual variation in tempo and the rhythm, and there is a coordinated group synchronization, and there is also inclusion of celestial dancers like Apsaras such as Rambha, Menaka in narrative imagination. There is a chorus singing that enhances the collective aesthetic experience of this folk form. And you will also see a circular pattern in Hallisaka that is deeply symbolic and represent the cosmic cycle. It reflects unity between divine and human realms that places Krishna at the center as the cosmic axis. Thus, spatial design becomes a philosophical statement, not merely choreography. If you look at the musical instrument which are used in this form, it includes flute and mridang. And if you look at the costume, Krishna wears yellow dhoti, peacock feather, headgear and the ornaments, whereas the Radha and gopis wear ghagra choli and dupatta, and they also wear light jewelry. The music in Hallisaka serves multiple roles, establishing rhythm, supporting narrative, and enhancing emotional expression. The flute, in particular, signifies divine call and attraction, central to Krishna Bhakti traditions. And the songs in Hallisaka are narrative and devotional in nature, based on Krishna's life and folklore. They function as oral repositories of mythologies, tools for cultural transmission. So, through repetition and performance, these songs ensure continuity of collective memory. And the Govardhan Leela narrative provides a symbolic foundation, and the Krishna lifting Govardhan represent divine Shakti and protection, where Gopi's invitation reflects devotional longing, and the Krishna disappearing signifies Viraha, the separation. And when the Krishna returns, that symbolizes the spiritual union and the fulfillment. So, this cycle mirrors the bhakti experience, which is devotion, separation, the longing, and union. Hallisaka demonstrates a gradual transformation from Sanskrit dramatic tradition to folk participation, from elite literary references to community celebration, and from mythological narrative to performative expression. It influenced later traditions such as Ras dance forms and Dandiya and Garba traditions. Thus, Hallisaka acts as a cultural ancestor of Western Indian dance tradition. With this, I conclude my lecture. Thank you.